Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be doing a first impression kind of try out test on the new Wet n Wild PhotoFocus line. I have their foundation, I have the powder, and I also have the concealer. So we're going to be putting these products to the test today. That is why I have nothing on my face right now. I do have a primer on because I always wear a primer. I did use a primer that I know I loved, and it is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. So I already have that all over my face, and then we're going to just jump right on into foundation. I do have two shades of the foundation here. I just kind of want to read to you what it says it's supposed to do. It says, "Goodbye Photo Flashback. It helps eliminate white particle reflection." It says it's been tested under 7 light conditions. It's been tested with top smartphone models with and without flash. It's supposed to basically make your skin look like you have a filter on it when you don't have a filter on it. So that's super exciting. I did get 2 shades, but honestly, like, they look the exact freaking same. I don't know. This one is in Soft Ivory, which says it's supposed to be for light skin, and this one's in Porcelain, which says it's supposed to be for fair skin. I don't know. I'm just gonna put them on the back of my hand and kind of see which one I like better. Let me know down below in the comments if you've tried out this foundation or anything from this line. I really like Wet n Wild's concealers, so I'm really excited to try out their concealer, but I've never tried out any of their foundations, so this is going to be very interesting. Well, oh my gosh. Was I supposed to do that? What is that? What? Was I supposed to do it like that? I haven't watched anybody's review on this foundation. Do I twist it? Okay. So you twist it. I haven't watched anybody's reviews or anything because I want, like, this just to be my kind of impression. Oh, what the heck is that? Is that a spatula? Okay, I don't know how I feel about that little deal, but I'm just gonna take it and kind of put it on the back of my hand. That's what the fair shade looks like. That might actually work. Let's just see what the Soft Ivory shade looks like here. All right, those look pretty freaking identical. The Soft Ivory shade is just like literally a hair darker. Don't know if you can really tell on camera. The Soft Ivory is the one here on the bottom. It's supposed to be the darker shade. I'm just gonna kind of mix them together, I guess, and hopefully I'll get my like perfect shade. I'm gonna kind of pin back my hair. It has kind of like a paint scent. Like, that's what it smells like. It smells like paint. It feels really soft. Hopefully it has good coverage. I do have like some healing breakouts and stuff, so I have like a little bit of texture on my skin. To blend it out, I'm going to take this NYX sponge that I did a whole review on, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link that down below, but I'm just going to take this and blend this out. So that is one side with the foundation on. It actually looks really pretty. The color, the combination of the two colors looks really good on my skin tone. I'm gonna put a little bit more on my hand here. It's just kind of difficult to judge like how much you need with the spatula. Like, I'm used to, you know, pumping out my foundation, so I'm not really used to this whole this thing. I just don't know how I feel about that, because like, you take it out, you put it on the back of your hand or something, and you stick it right back into the little jar. I just feel like that's kind of not very hygienic, you know what I mean? And for somebody like myself that has sensitive skin, that could potentially be a problem. I don't want to start breaking out, you know what I mean? Alright, so that is pretty much just one layer of foundation. I think that looks really nice. The color actually matches me pretty good. I did mix the two. I am going to go ahead and kind of build up some product. I mean, a lot of my scars and stuff are covered. That's pretty awesome. I still have this little bit of texture right down here where I had a pretty bad breakout. It doesn't look bad. Let's see if it builds up. Alright, that is kind of what we're working with right now with 2 layers of foundation on. I think that looks really pretty, actually. It doesn't seem to be clinging onto any dry patches. It's not really settling into my fine lines quite yet. It didn't quite cover up. I've got a few little spots there on my forehead where it's not quite covering up, but for the most part, I feel like it is a nice kind of medium to full coverage. I feel like if you definitely concentrate product on certain areas, it could be buildable to a full coverage if you don't have like as problematic skin as I have. But for the most part, I mean, I can't even really see my scars that I have on my cheeks right over here. You can still see like a little bit peeking through kind of like on my chin and stuff. As far as feel, like the texture of it, it feels very kind of sticky. Like on my face, it feels sticky. I don't know if you can see, but my fingers are kind of sticking to my face, which I don't know how that's going to really work when putting product on top of it, like bronzer, blush, highlight, stuff like that. I don't know really how product will lay on it. Just because it is kind of sticky, you'll really have to make sure to set it. So we'll try that with the powder once we get done with doing our under eyes. So for the concealer, I got the PhotoFocus Concealer Corrector. This is in the shade Light Ivory, which is the same shade that I use pretty much in their Illuminati concealer. It's called Ivory Into You, which I'm assuming is the same shade color. This looks a little bit dark in the tube, so I'm hoping it's not that dark. It's just a regular kind of doe foot applicator. Ooh, girl. I don't know about that color. It's a little pink and a little dark. This kind of changes things. This changes things here. I think this is the lightest shade that they have, which kind of sucks if it is, because this is, ooh, that's dark. Oh god. I hope this doesn't like screw up my makeup here, because I've got to film another video after this, girl. I feel like the wand doesn't deposit a lot of product. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and blend that out. Just gonna set it real quick with my RCMA powder, just because that's what I always use under my eyes. Alright, that is what one side looks like with the under eye concealer. The color actually looks really nice. It's not as brightening as what some of my other under eye concealers are, just because it's kind of more my skin tone. It's not like a super brightening concealer. It's not lighter than my skin tone. It blends into my skin really nice, actually. So that's promising, because I was very scared. I thought it was going to be very, very dark and pink under my eyes. But I feel like since it was a little bit pink, it kind of corrected some of my darkness that I have underneath my eyes, which is nice. Yeah, it still has that kind of like that tacky feeling. I did set it, but it feels tacky. Like, both of these products feel very tacky. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick. Alright, I'm not so sure about how I feel about the concealer on the face, like down the center of my face. I feel like the concealer is kind of clinging to my dry patches. It's really kind of clinging over here on my nose. It's kind of clinging a little bit, and then in between my eyebrows here, it is kind of clinging on to some little texture spots that I have. So underneath the eyes, it doesn't look bad, but on the center of my face where I put it, it looks really cakey. And I don't think it's the foundation, because the foundation still looks pretty nice, although it hasn't set. It's very, very sticky, very sticky. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the powder. This is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus pressed powder. This is in the shade Warm Light, and this actually looks really promising because it kind of reminds me of like MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. It looks a lot like that in the pan. It looks a lot like MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. The color I got is in Warm Light. Ooh, it looks like it actually is very pigmented, and it's very soft. Cool. Maybe it'll give me like a little bit of extra coverage. So I'm gonna take this e.l.f. brush that I have here. We're just gonna kind of cake this on. I hope this doesn't like sit weird on the foundation, since it is like a little bit sticky still. Alright, that is what it looks like with the powder. The powder is really nice. I like it. It did take a little bit to kind of set that foundation, and I still feel like it's a little bit sticky. It's so weird. I've never had a foundation that's like so sticky before. But I feel like it set it in some areas. I hope my bronzer and stuff doesn't go on patchy, but I don't want to cake on too much powder, because I did put on quite a lot, but honestly it doesn't look cakey or anything. Like, it doesn't look like I have put on a bunch of powder at all. Like, it's not powdery at all. It's very, very smooth. It does have a little bit of a tint to it, so it adds a little bit of extra coverage in areas where I need it. Still, I'm not loving the center of my face where I applied that concealer, because I just feel like it looks a little bit cakey, but I think that's because of the concealer. So far, I'm really impressed, honestly. This powder is probably my favorite thing so far. It's so soft. Like, it legit feels like MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my face makeup real quick, and then we'll kind of go over all these products. I'll give you the price details, how product laid on top of it, and all that good stuff. So I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back. My whole face is complete. So far, I really like the powder, and the foundation is pretty nice. I do kind of like the foundation as well. I do kind of want to go through the prices real quick, because I haven't mentioned that to you guys yet. So the foundation retails for $5.99, which actually isn't too bad for a drugstore foundation. I feel like drugstore foundations nowadays are kind of creeping up over the $10 mark. So this is under $10. I think that that is a fantastic price point. Overall, I feel like the foundation is beautiful on the skin. If you are somebody that is looking for a nice medium but buildable full coverage foundation, this is pretty good. I feel like you can get a really nice full coverage look with it. It doesn't seem to be kind of settling anywhere. I mean, it is kind of settling right around my nose here, but I don't know if that's necessarily the foundation or if it's the concealer, because I don't know how I feel about the concealer quite yet. The only downside is that I do feel like this does take a little while to set, even after you set it with a powder. I kind of waited a few minutes after I set my face and turned the camera off to apply my contour and stuff. I've got something in my eye. It's freaking me out. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with how easily everything kind of went on, considering it was so sticky. I was very scared about that. Another thing that does kind of turn me off about the foundation though is the applicator. I don't like this little spatula thing. I don't know why they couldn't have just given us a pump. I can understand that they want you to maybe kind of control how much product you get, but I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the spatula kind of deal. I feel like it's just very unhygienic. Not my favorite. And the smell is also kind of irritating. It kind of reminds me of like paint. Like if you're literally going in and painting a wall, that is kind of what it smells like. I hope it doesn't break me out considering it does have that strong scent, but we will see, and I will definitely keep you guys updated. But it sits beautifully on the skin. It blends in really nice. The color selection, since I did mix the two, I feel like the color looks really great. So overall, the foundation, I'm liking it so far. The concealer, on the other hand, I think it looks nice underneath the eyes. I was very scared because of the color. It looks a little bit dark in the tube, but once you put it underneath the eyes and you kind of blend it out, I think the color actually is really nice if you're looking for more of a natural kind of under eye concealer rather than a bright under eye. However, I do not like this for the face. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why I don't like it for the face, but I just don't. I feel like it didn't blend out very well on my nose. My nose looks pretty cakey. It is kind of settling around the sides of my nose there, and it is clinging onto these dry patches that I have on my chin from some breakouts that are kind of healing right now. But underneath the eyes, I think it's doing a pretty decent job right now. I would love to try and mix this with my Illuminati concealer and see how they kind of work together. And the price of the concealer, I don't think I said, but the price of the concealer is $3.99, which I think is a pretty good price. I think their Illuminati concealer pen is like $4.99, so kind of the same price range. Oh, I do also want to say another thing I noticed with this, I'm kind of all over the place in this video, I'm sorry, but another thing I noticed with this is that the wand, like the applicator, doesn't hold a lot of product. I really had to kind of go back in and get more product on the wand to kind of apply it to my under eyes. I probably had to dip it about 2 to 3 times, which usually I never have to do that. A lot of my wands that I use, I can get a fair amount of product with just one application, like one little swipe. So I feel like you could probably go through this very fast with how many times you have to kind of dip into the product to get the product on the wand. I don't know if the wand just holds onto a lot of product or if it just doesn't pick up a lot of product, you know what I mean? Now for the face powder. Holy crap, the face powder. Let's see, I can't remember how much this is. Let me look real quick. The face powder is $4.99. This powder is fantastic. If you are somebody that likes MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, you will like this, I feel like, even more. This is beautiful on the skin. I am in shock. I have never really loved a powder that has a lot of color to it. I'm more of a translucent powder kind of gal unless I'm wearing a lighter foundation and I want something that has a little bit of extra coverage. This powder gives you some pretty nice coverage. I feel like it's so soft. It goes onto the skin absolutely beautifully. It does set your foundation. It did set this foundation pretty nice. There were a few areas where it was a little bit difficult to kind of set because the foundation was really sticky, but I feel like overall it did a really great job. I put on so much of this powder to set that foundation and my face does not look powdery at all. I am freaking obsessed with this. This is amazing. If you get anything from this collection, I would say this so far is fan-freaking-tastic. I am obsessed. For $5, yes please. So those are kind of my first initial thoughts of the product. It is 11:48 right now. I am going to wear this for a little bit. I do have another video that I need to film, so I'm going to kind of go about my day here and see kind of how this foundation wears throughout the day. So far, I am pleasantly surprised, so I will check back in a couple hours once I've worn it a little bit more, once it's kind of settled into my skin a little bit more, and I will give you an update. Alright guys, I am back. It is now about 5 o'clock. I don't know if you can see that, but it's about 5 o'clock. I've had this foundation on now for about 5 hours, like a little bit over 5 hours. So far, I would have to say I really do like the foundation. I do notice that it is kind of settling like in my smile lines and kind of separating a little bit around my nose, but I feel like that's kind of common for a lot of foundations. Also, if you notice that my eyelash is like falling off, it's because it is. I contemplated even keeping it on, but YOLO, you know? I don't really notice it making me like oily or anything. I don't really feel very oily, but I don't have oily skin. I have more combination skin. I do, however, notice where I put the concealer on, like these little spots that I have right here, it is kind of worn off where I have like little problem areas, and it is kind of clinging to like the dryness that I have around those areas. I do kind of notice that it is kind of settling into like my pores and stuff, kind of around here, like around my chin, and then up on my forehead. I do feel like it's kind of clogging my pores right there. I hope it doesn't break me out. I feel like a lot of stuff that clogs my pores tends to break me out. But overall, I feel like the finish of it is really nice. I feel like my like blush, bronzer, and contour and stuff like that still looks pretty good. My highlight's a little bit faded, but I feel like that is just the highlighter that I used. I definitely can see myself using this on days that I film and stuff like that, because I do think it looks really nice on camera. It does feel a little bit heavy. I do have to say that. Like, you can tell that you're wearing makeup. It's not like a skin-like foundation. Even though it looks pretty like flawless on the skin, you can feel it. Like, moving my face around, I can feel it on my face, whereas like my Hourglass foundation and the Sonia Kashuk foundation, I don't really have that issue. This isn't a foundation that I would want to wear like to work or somewhere where I'm going to be somewhere for a very long period of time, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of uncomfortable the more you wear it. Like, it's heavy. It's just kind of a heavier foundation. But to like film videos, or if you're just running a few errands and you just want some nice full coverage, I think that it would actually work really nice. I do also just want to kind of quickly say, I wish the packaging was a little bit different. Like I had said earlier, I love that it's in a glass bottle. It looks like it's very fancy. It looks like it would cost more than $6, which I think the price point is actually fantastic. A lot of drugstore foundations nowadays aren't $6. They're getting to kind of be over $10, which I feel like is kind of ridiculous. I just wish it wasn't this spatula kind of deal. I mean, maybe if you're a makeup artist and you have like a bunch of different clients and stuff and you use like a palette and stuff like that, it might be a little bit easier just to kind of dab it off. I could see that working. But for somebody like me, I'm gonna be the only person using this foundation, so it's like kind of, I don't know, I don't like the fact of having to put it on the back of my hand. I'd rather pump it out, you know what I mean? But the under eye concealer I think looks actually really nice. It is a little bit dry though, and I do have to say that's kind of like a downside to it, is that it is a little bit dry for my under eyes. It's not creasing like at all. Like, surprisingly, it's not creasing, which is really nice, but it is kind of accentuating my fine lines that I have underneath my eyes, if that makes sense. Like, it's not settling into the creases, it's just kind of accentuating them because it's a drier formula of a concealer. So I feel like if I mixed it with the Illuminati concealer pen, maybe it would look really nice, because that one I feel like it gives me a little bit of moisture. Or if I use kind of more of like a hydrating under eye cream, then, you know, it would really kind of help that concealer out a little bit, because I do feel like it is a little bit drier. I don't know, I don't like it for the face, but I do like it for underneath the eyes. I feel like it has pretty good pigmentation and it does have some pretty good coverage, so I might try it as like an eyeshadow primer, because since I have oily eyelids, maybe it'll work really well for that. The powder is probably my favorite thing that I've tried. This is fantastic. For being $5, I think that is probably the best drugstore powder that I've tried, like pigmented powder. I will definitely use it when I use like lighter foundations and stuff like that, beauty creams and stuff like that, when you're looking for like a more no makeup kind of look. But so far, pleasantly surprised with everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button right down below if you are new to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon in my next one. Bye!